Post-game here at the WEC in Newark, Vermont over NJIT 68-55 with head coach Mike Lane, Drew Casey. And Coach, this is a team in Vermont that won the league last year. They won 17 games in a row against conference competition.
Yep.
You were in the middle of that. What were your impressions today? What was your assessment of your team's performance?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. We're never obviously satisfied with a loss or a defeat, but I thought we really made Vermont earn it today. Maybe at times it didn't look like that, but I thought last year they really handled us in both games, and they scored like 88 points or something, the last time they were in this gym. So it's, I thought we made them battle. I thought we just made a couple too many mistakes, obviously some turnovers, but even some rebounding stuff, which we're going to do. We're not the defending champions, they are, but that's why I told the kids, if that's the standard, and they are the standard bearer right now as the defending champ, like, hey, we were there today. We had some chances. I love that we kept fighting in that fourth quarter. It looked like it was getting away, it's going to be away from them, and we just kept fighting and kept chipping away. So I thought our second and fourth quarters were really, really good. We got to figure out the first and third, and obviously that first 90 seconds of the coming out of half was, killed us.
Not what you were looking for coming out of the halftime break, I would imagine. Last year, you mentioned that it was a runaway. It was 20-4 after the first quarter, and today it was a 10-point game after the first quarter. But it stayed in that range for much of the rest of the game. It got to 5 and 7.
Yep.
What was different about the second quarter compared to the first in your eyes?
I didn't think. I think I mentioned this to Ralph at the half. Like, we just took a lot of quick possessions in that first quarter. And that can be, kind of our issue sometimes. And I don't mind a quick possession if it's a really good, strong shot. I just thought we were really kind of, maybe going 180 miles per hour where we can't go that fast. And so there were a lot of quick possessions. It's hard to offensive rebound on those quick possessions. We're not ready for that shot. And then they were just able to, again, it felt like we were surviving. We had our nose above water there in the first quarter, but we stayed there. We kept fighting. I thought that was good. And then in the second quarter, I thought we just settled in on both sides. We settled in on the offensive end. I thought everybody was touching it a little bit more. We were establishing Trin on the post. And then I thought our defense just started to really figure out. We played a lot of zone today, and they had to kind of get through that first quarter to figure some things out. I thought we gave them a lot of uncontested shots where we had kids maybe pretty close to them, almost seemingly right next to them, and but that was playing a new defense and maybe just not knowing who they were supposed to guard, and that was disappointing, but I thought we got better at that during the game.
How difficult or how challenging is it to play zone for, I think it was the entire game, or at least 37 or 38 minutes when you haven't played much of it at all, if at all, really?
Yeah, and that's something that we're trying to ask our kids. It's a high standard. It's really hard, but we have really sharp kids. It wasn't just installed yesterday or anything crazy. We've had it. We played it a little bit. We played it against Miami. I know a lot just because of a bigger, faster team. A lot of people have been zoning Vermont. I think it's because their offense is so good. They have 3 fifth-year kids who know what they're doing, and they can just really hurt you that way. So we wanted to see if we could just kind of, mix it up a little bit for us. I thought we forced them into some good shots. I thought we rebounded better in the zone as it got through. So I was really proud of that, to really come in with a very different game plan. I think they were prepared for it, but it's still new. It's still like game stuff. And again, other than a few shots that they got in that first quarter, I thought we, like I said, settled in that second quarter. We're getting to those shots and did a better job in it. But 68 points, still not what we want defensively.
You want to be under 60 or around 60, right?
Yeah, really we want to be under 60. But when you're playing Vermont, that does get, they're so efficient, and they're just really good. I mean, I know halfway through the second quarter they were still shooting 61%. It's just, and then we got that down under 50 by halftime because we had that really good closing part of the second quarter. But then again in the third quarter, I can't remember what they ended up at, but I remember it was like 8 for 11. I think just they make shots, they're efficient. But that's why Olsen and Utterback are first team all league kids. They're tough to stop.
In terms of rebounding, you talked about it in there. You talked about feeding Trinity, double-double for Trin, double-double for Lyzi as well.
Yeah.
Really contributed. And I asked you this question 48 hours ago. Nice to have her back for a limited amount of minutes in terms of what Thursday was. And today a double-double out there a bunch. It's got to be great.
Yeah, no, great to see her back, and that's Lyzi Litwinko basketball. It's still probably a little, rust there.
Okay.
But she's falling on the floor, she's diving on the floor, she's like the human bruise. She's just all over the place, and she rebounds from that guard spot, which is really critical in that zone. She's that one that's crashing down, and she can sky and go get it. So just gives us another scorer, obviously, and another attacker. And it was really good to see her out there playing like we know she can. So that helps us a lot. But I thought, we like to talk about our depth, and I thought we got good minutes from a lot of kids today. And so, again, really hard to lose. Not the way we want to lose. We got things to work on. But after a disappointing Thursday, this is a little bit more of at least a satisfactory, Saturday, I guess.
And looking ahead now, it is 3 consecutive games on the road, looking for that first win in the conference. What is your outlook heading into Thursday?
Yeah, that's it's not ideal to drop the first 3, obviously with 2 at home here. So we've dug ourselves a hole, and we can just. But if we can fight like we did today, we need to get better. We can coach them up on some technique and some stuff. But man, if we can play with this intensity, and if we can stretch that intensity out, we had some dips there, unfortunately. But that today was the standard that we have to play at. That's the only way this group can play. So I'm like I said, I'm much more optimistic than I was Thursday when I thought we dropped a tough one. This had all the makings of, it could have gotten away from us. Very good team. We're coming off a bad loss. I just love the way we reacted, and we were throwing punches today. But now we got 3 on the road, and we're 0-3. That is some reality that we did talk about right there on the court.
Okay.
We'll get a day off tomorrow, much deserved. We've been working hard. These Thursdays, Saturdays. We're getting used to it. I talked to Coach about that in this league. So the kids need a little bit of a break, but we got to come back ready for New Hampshire, who's playing really differently than they did last year, and it's a tough road trip to go up to New Hampshire and Maine. We've never done this with 2 games.
Yeah.
This is new travel for us in this league. But everybody's doing it, so they're going to come down here in February. So, but critical games, needless to say.
Well, Coach, we look forward to watching those. We'll see you coming up in a couple of weeks.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Mike Lane here with us post-game following a loss to Vermont at the WEC.